a lot of work by the judges, a lot of work by the prosecutors, by the defense attorneys and the public defenders in those courts, by the court staff and the case managers in each of those specialty courts. But I can tell you that nobody works harder in these specialty courts than the participants themselves. They really made a commitment to do something with their lives. And they've embraced what I believe is the core idea of these specialty courts. And that is that we are not defined by the person we used to be, that we are defined by the person we choose to be today. And so much of our society, certainly so much of our criminal justice system, looks at us and we're nothing more than a record, that we're nothing more than a conviction, and we're nothing more than a mistake, or sometimes several mistakes we've made in the past. And so that's what I love about these specialty courts. You are a new person every day in the choices you make every day. And these courts create an environment that fosters that idea. And the judges and the staff and the prosecutors and everyone involved actually embraces that. And the most important person you're going to hear from today are the participants themselves. I'll tell you, I love listening to those stories because they actually renew me. They are the ones that keep me going. Hearing about the success that they've had, the struggles they've overcome, and just renewing my commitment to our criminal justice system as a system that helps everyone to be better. And I thank all the judges, all the court staff, all the participants who are going to be here today. And it's really an honor to get to hear their stories. And I look forward to hearing them. Thank you all.
Chief Young has been an excellent advocate when it comes to these specialty courts. And without his help, we would not be where we're at. Truly believes in what specialty courts are about, truly believes in making sure that that these folks are empowered and grow and continue to recognize that all of us suffer through life. But these courts give them an opportunity to look at life in a different way, to renew the opportunity to live life to its fullest. So thank you for all the work that you've done, Chief. You've done a great job.
Thank you all.
How do the videos look?
So the video for Commissioner Calvert, that one's ready to go.
All right.
Sam?
Art, if we need to, we can reserve the videos.
I guess we could reserve them. We don't hand their sound booker. Okay.
All right, so let's go ahead and just, when you guys are ready to play that, just let me know.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and move on to the overview. I know that somebody's here on behalf of Judge Sakai with the Family Drug Court and Early Childhood Court. frankly, being on the criminal side, I don't know much about these particular courts. I am interested in hearing about them. So take it away.
Thank you, Judge. Macy Clark, and I'm going to be presenting mostly on early childhood court, but family drug court, I know that there's some court monitors as well on here for them. So if they want the chance to say some words too, I'll give them that. I am a court monitor for the early childhood court. We also have our supervisor, Lorena Medellin, and two other court monitors, Caroline Briones and Amanda Garcia. What I want to kind of go over a little bit is the overview and mission statement of the early childhood court. So it was founded or established in 2015 under the guidance of Judge Peter Sakai in the 225th Judicial District Court. The mission of the Bexar County Early Childhood Court is to establish a comprehensive, integrated, and coordinated systems approach to help families with children ages 0 to 5. So we are focusing on that early childhood age range. This intensive court model is designed to work intimately and early in the life of a child to develop mental and physical health and well-being that maintain the parent-child bond. The program provides these unique services via community partners specializing in therapeutic models just for infant and toddlers. These families volunteer to work with our court team and specialized providers to help nurture the paternal role that infants need to thrive. Research has shown us that bonding and attachment are paramount in the infant and children under the age of 3. Additionally, we also prepare the family for early education and introduce them to the pre-K for SA school system as our children are gearing up to enter the pre-K. As far as eligibility goes, it's pretty similar to a lot of other specialty courts. So they have to be willing to voluntarily participate in our program. Participants must be at least over the age of 18. For our court, all of our parents have to have children between the ages of 0 to 5 because we are early childhood court. They have to be willing to abide by our standards and expectations, open honesty, drug-free. They have to be willing to attend court, as well as our drug testing schedule, which is rigorous like other specialty courts. And of course, they need to be willing to not engage in any drug or alcohol use while involved in the program. Some more, I guess, specialized requirements is that they cannot have any serious history of injuries or death of a child, any sexual abuse allegations as a perpetrator. They can't be a registered sex offender, and they are not, our participants are not able to have any active pending domestic violence charges. As far as the referral process goes, we do accept referrals from the children's court judges, so that being Judge Montemayor as well as Judge Burley. We also accept referrals from ADAs, attorneys. We've even had caseworkers that have reached out to us with cases that they feel may be a good fit. So really anyone, but mostly our referrals do come from those children's court judges. Initially, the client will meet with a court monitor for an initial screening and will be assessed for services at that time. They will begin drug testing 3 times a week. So during COVID, we kind of went back to twice a week to limit exposure to all these clients, but we have since gone back to the standard 3 times a week. And then also we give the client a chance to observe the court process. So to engage in services, get referred for services, as well as attend a couple of our monthly Zooms with Judge Sakai to see kind of what that process looks like and if it's something that they are interested in. We have a FACE system, which is, again, probably pretty similar to most specialty courts. these phases are going to progress as the clients progress through their services, and especially through reunification with their child. So that's kind of what in these specialty courts, in the family courts, that's what our focus is and our goal is working on reunifying this child with their parents. And so all of the phases and all of the services that we're doing are kind of centered around that goal. We have 4 goals that we want to achieve in ECC. The first is to promote family stability and structure, to promote education, access to resources and employment, to promote and support integration into the early childhood education system, so Head Start or Pre-K for SA, and to reduce recidivism into the child welfare system. I know a little later we're going to have some graduates of the Family Drug Court and the Early Childhood Court speak with us about their experiences and how these programs really assisted them in stabilizing their family and rehabilitating their family. And so I look forward to everyone having the chance to hear from these clients. Vanessa or Tomas, is there anything else that y'all would like to add?
No, I think you covered, because both programs are very similar. It's just the different types of parents that we served and the cases that we serve.
I would say just the main difference is that us over here with the Family Drug Court, we do work with the family where the kiddos are 6 and above.
Yes, we definitely want to make sure that there is kind of a distinct differentiating factor between these programs. And so the age of the child is really, is that factor. But we definitely are able, we both still provide wraparound services for these families and have that goal of getting these kids back home to these families. So I guess briefly, when we talk about services, we really do follow the service plan that the CPS caseworkers have outlined for these parents. So most of our parents are going to be engaging in substance abuse treatment. I know we both work through Elite Counseling. They are on our team. We have a member from Elite who engages in our staffings, who engages in court with Judge Sakai and is able to report on the client's progress. Parenting is going to be a big one. In the Early Childhood Court, we work with a program called Safe Care Training. So this is a program that is specialized for parents who have children ages 0 to 5. They're working on health and nutrition. They're working on safety in the home, as well as parent-child interaction. So how to appropriately discipline a child, how to appropriately redirect, again, interact with your child to promote their development. We've also, as we mentioned, drug testing, our monthly court with Judge Sakai, individual counseling, all of these services, again, these providers are on our multidisciplinary team. And so we are able to really collaborate with one another and coordinate these services individually for each family.
So Vanessa and Tomas, could you guys introduce yourselves and your role in the programs?
I'm Vanessa Knight, and I'm the Family Drug Court Monitor.
I remember working with you, Vanessa.
Yeah, I was CPS.
Yes, and my name is Tomas Reyes, and I am also one of the drug court monitors. More specifically, I work with the intake process. So I'm there each morning, getting the referrals from both Judge Montemayor and Judge Burley. They're at the 262s. So initially, when a client is referred to the Family Drug Court, I am the one reaching out to them and doing just a quick screening, making sure that they are appropriate for program and that we are able to help them out the best.
Thank you.
Judge Huff, is there do we open it up to questions right now, or?
No, we we have maybe we could post that agenda in the chat, Michelle, so that everyone can see, kind of can follow along. So we will move to Judge Rahel knows we'll move along to the next. If you guys are finished with your presentation, we move along to the next judge and their presentation, and then we actually have a session for question and answers. And I can't remember if it's before the testimonials or after the testimonials. But Michelle's scheduled.
It's scheduled to be after.
Okay,
and
good.
They gave some time back, so that'll give
That's
us an opportunity then to go ahead and listen to the videos. It's my understanding that the audio is working now, so let's go ahead and hear the videos.
Is the audio coming through?
No,
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 it's not. All right, I'll continue to work on this. I don't know why it's not coming through.
thank you, Booker.
Now I'm having problems with my audio. It's like, I think it's contagious. So, all right. So the next presentation we're going to get is on the Reflector Court. That's a new court. It's a domestic violence court. I know that Judge Rosie Spiedland Gonzalez had everything to do with starting that. So I look forward to hearing from you, Judge. Let's go ahead and do that.
Thank you, Judge Hill, and good morning. Buenos dias to everyone. Yes, we are here. I have several team members that I'm going to introduce shortly. My name is Judge Rosie Spiedland Gonzalez, and I preside over not only Bexar County Court at Law number 13, but the Reflector Court. And County Court at Law 13 hears almost exclusively misdemeanor level domestic violence courts. And misdemeanor level cases for the general public are cases that the range of punishment will be up to 1 year at the Bexar County Jail, up to a $4,000 fine. And in many cases, because it's a domestic violence case, an affirmative finding of family violence will be issued. And that means that the Second Amendment right to bear firearms or have guns will be restricted or completely taken from the defendant for the rest of their lives. Now, working in those courts and working in the family courts, in which I got to work closely with people like Vanessa Knight, with Judge Sakai and that at-risk population, we saw some similarities in the violence, right? It's either violence towards children or violence used as between adults and against adults. And what we were finding over the years is that, especially in the misdemeanor domestic violence court, is that about 90% of the cases that came through that were being charged involved some sort of issue with substance abuse, alcohol, cocaine. And then when you walk that back even further, you realize that almost 100% of those users had some history of either childhood or early adulthood trauma that went untreated. And so now we're talking about getting to the trauma and the root of the behavior, the violent behavior, being associated directly with trauma. I happen to be very fortunate. I consider myself the luckiest person in the world to have a spouse, Dr. Stacy Spiedland Gonzalez, who is a mental health professional and an expert in trauma and addiction. And as we talked over many months and a couple of years, we made, and when I decided to run for this court, we looked on the horizon and thought that we could get this specialty court within a specialty court up and running to address the trauma that we were finding in many of the defendants in our court. And we believe, even to this day, that if we are to reduce the number of domestic violence cases in Bexar County, we must get to the root of the problem. And that is the behavior that is put forth by the defendant. And so we co-wrote a House Bill 3529, and that was passed into law, not this past legislative session, but the one prior to that. So it was back in 2019. At the time, Representative Roland Gutierrez sponsored the bill in the House, and it was voted out of the House unanimously. And then it went to the Senate, and the Senate passed it on to the governor, and Governor Greg Abbott signed it into law as an unfunded mandate back in June of 2019, which started the process of trying to find funding for this court, which was very daunting, and is still daunting because the community outlook is more punitive towards defendant of domestic violence than rehabilitative. And so that's an ongoing battle. As a result of that, we have some of the lowest budgets, the smallest budgets of any specialty court. We are able to operate on about $168,000, $170,000 a year. I want to credit Commissioner's Court, specifically Judge Nelson Wolf, for having given us our seed money of $100,000. And we've been able to get other monies from other community stakeholders to help us put this team together. And we are the newest court, as Judge Rahel introduced us as, the newest specialty court. We hold the title of being the only specialty court to have been launched in the middle of a COVID pandemic. And so we've been operating on Zoom for almost a year now. We launched it on July 31st of 2020. So we're coming up on our 1-year anniversary, and we will be having our first graduation on August 27th at the neighborhood place over on the west side, and it'll be open to public participation. We will, it'll be a different kind of graduation. It'll be an all-day training preceding the ceremony, starting with some trauma-informed training being put on by the city of San Antonio from 9 to 12. We will be having a keynote speaker at lunchtime, and hopefully another presentation right after lunch on relationships after recovering from in sobriety, and for our participants who have that history of having some issues with domestic violence. But like Michael Young said, we try to remind our participants and the public that we should not judge the defendants by their lowest point in their life, but give them credit for what they've been able to achieve from that point to graduation, and give them the skills necessary to be functioning, contributing members of our community past this point in their life. So that is the goal of our program, to keep them sober, to provide trauma-informed services, to give them the resiliency skills they will need to carry on in their lives past their participation in graduation in the Reflector Court. I believe I have a tremendous committed team. Sybil Obledo is our court coordinator on the team, and she and I have been friends almost 20 years, and we've been involved with drug courts almost 20 years. So we've seen the evolution of the movement within Bexar County. She's our court coordinator. We also have Olga Gutierrez with us today. She's our court reporter, but you know, her role is really very maternal and very motherly, and she keeps us all in line and reminds us and keeps us grounded in what we're supposed to be doing. A big component of our program is the MP360 component, and I'm going to let John Vaca speak to that. We also have with us treatment with Mr. Mendez. He's going to speak to that. Before we launched the program, we needed to have a case manager in place. And I interviewed about 5 finalists out of over 50 applicants, and head and shoulders above everyone else. And I was very focused on getting her hired, and that is Miss Jackie Aguirre. And she's going to talk about the intake process and how we get referrals into the domestic violence, our Reflector Court. I'm trying to see who else is with us today. Not everyone was going to make it. I believe. Oh, we have our deputy. Now, our specialty court does have a deputy who attends our staffings, and from time to time has been able to help us in convincing the defendant to do things a certain way. And that is Deputy Arnold Rogers. He's going to talk to you a little bit about what he does on our team. And I believe that covers everyone, Yolanda, in regards to who's, I'm sorry?
Mr. Mendez?
Yes, I introduced him as treatment. And so he's going to be speaking also as to what his role is on the team. Again, we invite the defense bar and to really sit down with their defendants in our court and talk about whether they want to do the program. Here's the carrot. It's if you complete the program successfully, then your case will be dismissed and expungible, and you will not be labeled a violent offender. Well, who qualifies? Well, you have to be a defendant in county court at law number 13. You must be a resident of Bexar County. You must be 18 and over, and you must be a first-time offender of domestic violence and not have any other domestic violence cases pending, especially in the felony courts. I think the first-time offender with a history of substance abuse or substance was at issue in the alleged offense. I think that covers the criteria. I'm going to pass it over to my court coordinator, Sybil, and then I'll let her pass it over to the next team member and the next team member and the next team member. So at this time, Judge Huff, I yield the floor to Sybil.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Sybil Obledo, and I'm the court coordinator for County Court at Law number 13. Primarily, my job is to monitor our regular caseload, if you will, and monitor the jail, the inmate population, and work with various other team members and basically keeping the court flowing. So there's a lot of communication that goes on every day. As far as Reflector Court is concerned, originally, before Jackie came on, I was assisting the judge in whatever matters that she needed me there. And when Jackie came on, she had a fantastic background in education, and she questioned why she was coming in right when we were departing the courthouse for COVID. And so it was really an amazing blessing because Jackie was able to utilize that time to be proactive in educating herself with specialty courts and best practices and learning about urinalysis testing and creatinine. So that time during COVID was an amazing blessing for her because she has just incredibly excelled during this past year. At this point, it was assisting Jackie and learning how to do some things so that she could really be a major wheel in getting Reflector Court rolling. And so now at this point, I sit with the team and give my thoughts and my experience because I had been a probation officer for a very long time. And I did work with the adult drug court as a probation officer. So I'm able to give my input regarding supervision or urinalysis testing. And then if and when Jackie has any questions at this point, she knows I'm always here to assist.
Who do you want to pass it over to, Sybil?
I would
Olga,
say Jackie.
Okay, yeah, because Olga, our court reporter, left. She had a family matter to take care of, so she won't be joining us as a team member. She left, Judge Huff. Jackie, you want to tell the court your role and your experience and how people can get their defendants referred to our court?
Sure. Good morning, and thank you, Sybil. Thank you, Judge. So I am the point of contact for the court. I get referrals primarily from attorneys, from both prosecutors and defense attorneys. There are referrals that come from County Court at Law number 7 as well. I know currently some of the family violence cases are spread out across courts. So some of those cases do come to us, and then if they are eligible and accepted into our court, then the cases are transferred over to 13. So initially when I get those referrals, I will begin the screening process. I do work with one of the OSAR screeners that is housed out of the courthouse, and she will complete the substance abuse screening. And then I will also complete several additional screenings that include the domestic violence inventory, the ACE questionnaire to assess for trauma in early childhood. I recently started also giving the life events checklist, which is another screening for trauma events that occurred throughout life and different types of events, just to get a full-on picture of what this person is dealing with when they come into our court. Also, there is a mental health screening as well. The goal is we want to be able to provide a holistic sort of treatment so that all of the needs of our participants are being addressed and that we can remove some of those barriers that may hinder them from completing the program, hinder them in their recovery process as well. So once that screening is completed and we have everybody that we are going to have for that docket, then I create the docket, send that out to the team. Besides the intake process, I also help coordinate certain trainings. Our team recently had the trauma-informed training from the city of San Antonio, and then I am working with that presenter, as well as Judge said, to bring her for our commencement ceremony so she can do the early portion and give a workshop on how family violence, how trauma plays a role in family violence and in our communities. So she's looking forward to that.
And Jackie, is there anything you can tell those watching about who is not appropriate for the court?
So we do want to have those that are obviously 18 and older. And we did try working with 17-year-olds as well. However, the difficulties that we were running across was that for treatment, they want 18. In order to be considered an adult and be able to sign in for treatment, you have to be 18. So we recently changed that after running across those difficulties. So you have to be 18 or older. I would really encourage attorneys. We've been fortunate enough that our prosecutors do offer Reflector Court as an option to the defendants in the court. And so when the prosecutors offer that to the defense attorneys, I would really encourage the defense attorneys to reach out to me for that information, or also Sybil has the information as well, so that they have an idea of all of the requirements of the court. And even just a basic conversation with the defendants to ask if there is a history of substance use, substance abuse, if there was substances involved at the time of the incident. I know sometimes, attorneys are excited to try to get their defendant into the court, but when I speak to them, unfortunately, there is no history of substance use or abuse. So just getting that basic information from them would be really helpful, so that, if it's not an option, then they can just discuss it at that time with the prosecutors.
And Jackie, thank you. I did want to just interject, and Jackie triggered some things for me. A domestic violence, a family violence conviction can ruin a person's life. And I don't think I'm overstating that. If you're convicted for domestic violence, you're labeled a violent offender. And if you're labeled a violent offender, it limits your employment possibilities. It limits your ability sometimes to get financial aid for college. And if there's an affirmative finding of family violence against you, it will limit your ability to be a primary caretaker for your children. If you were ever able to want to ask for that. It would limit that, and the opposing party could say, "No, Judge, they have a domestic violence background, and they should not be primary caretakers." So folks need to be aware of that. Now, the other thing that I'm really proud about our team, despite the fact that we launched during COVID, and I need to give kudos to Macy Clark. She was one of the first folks that helped us launch the court, and she was given to us on loan by Barbara Butler from the CPS courts to help us get us up and running. So I was remiss, Macy, in not mentioning that, but I did now. Now, I'm very proud of the fact that we did get certified by the National Association of Drug Court Professionals as a specialty court. We went through that training. And as a result of that training, we were also told that they were impressed by how well, educated the team was on the issues. And we were asked to consider being a model court for the state of Texas. As we all know, the state of Texas is not very friendly toward violent offenders. So we are a court of first impression in Texas. And so the NADCP was interested in us developing to the level that we could teach the rest of the Texas courts how we were dealing with misdemeanor violent offenders in Bexar County. In addition to that, they extended an invitation to me, and I have filled out the application to be faculty at the national conference at next year's conference in Anaheim. So we're waiting to hear from them on that issue. So our team is doing well. And Jackie, did you want to pass it on to the next team member, John Baca? Or okay.
Yeah, I'll pass it on to John.
Okay, John, you're next. You're on in the hot seat.
Awesome. Thank you. What great introduction. Thank you, all of you, for giving me the opportunity to be here. And thank you most of all, Judge Gonzalez. Mission Possible 360, I'm the executive director and the founder of Mission Possible 360. MP 360, we do work with youth and adults here in San Antonio, but as in the Reflejo Court, we have our MP 360 adult program called Pathways to Healing. And that is obviously healing family violence. So there's 3 domains that we work from, right? It's self, family, and community. And we teach them our core values, right? There's 4 core values, which is love, dignity, trust, and respect. And also 7 principles of a noble man and a noble woman. And so what we do, and I love to work with our Reflejo participants, you know, for example, you know, we educate them on the limbic system, literally, you know, the brain science. And you could make it fun. You could make it, you know, we make it fun and entertaining. And what they take from us is that they learn, you know, the limbic system, the fight, flight, or freeze. And the objective is obviously that they learn their triggers, what triggers them, and how they trigger, and most importantly, why they trigger. And we don't stay in the symptoms, but we really go down to the root cause. And I think Judge Gonzalez did a great job of presenting at the beginning of the healing, the trauma that takes place within childhood. And so again, we go to the root cause of it, and what we do is we don't teach them how to manage their anger, right? We don't teach them to put the anger in a box, but to heal the anger. And so that's the way we work. You know, they get educated on the limbic system. They learn their triggers, and most importantly, and I'll wrap it up here. What I've learned is majority of even the youth and the adults is they have no vision, right? So before they leave our program, you've got to know who you are. You're not that abuser. You're not the drug user. You're not the gang member. You have, right, a sacred purpose, and the Creator made you sacred. And so when you leave from us, you will have a vision. You'll have a vision of your true self, and a destination, and we'll teach them how to do that. And then also you have to have a vision for your family, right? You have to have a vision for your family as a father or as a mother. And then from there, you have to have a vision for our community. And so they leave from us, you know, ready to impact their world, their family, and their community. So thank y'all for allowing me to introduce a small part of what we do.
So MP 360 comes in phase 2, and John, of our, you know, the phase system is pretty much uniform across all the specialty courts, phases 1 through 5. MP 360 comes in phase 2 after our participants stabilize in phase 1. John, can you talk just a little bit about what your program looks like how many lessons, how long are they with you, things like that?
Sure. So we have 26 sessions, right, that we put them through. And one session might take us 2 days, right? That might take us 2 actual days of 4 hours together on that one session, right? And so we'll work through that, because we got to work and get down to the root cause. And then, for example, one of our principles, right, is being responsible for yourself and being responsible for your circle, because we gather in circles, right? So we gather in a circle. So everything we do is in circles, because that is the way that we're able to defeat the cycles, right? The cycle of poverty, the cycle of violence is through our circles and teaching them our 4 values. And so those, like I said, one session could last us 4 hours just working through that. And so they're with us. At the end it's 26 sessions. We meet with them twice a week, and it's intense, and it's a lot of work. And they're gonna have homework, and they're gonna they come back and they share with us how they've been able to integrate the lesson, and how they're empowered to do things they never thought they can do before. So there's a lot of work that's put into this. So
All right, well,
that's what we do.
thank you so much for your presentation. We are at a time. Each group has 20 minutes. And so you will have an opportunity with the question and answer.
And Judge Rahel, just really quick, I know you need to move on, but we do have treatment here with Mr. Mendez and our deputy here with the officer, Arnold Rogers. I think that's the rest of our team, Jackie, right? That's here. So just wanted to make sure that they have an opportunity at a later time, Judge Rahel, to talk to us about what their roles are.
They'll definitely be able to do that in the question and answer session. Thank you all for being here. There's a lot of information, and you know, I hope to hear from you again soon. Let's go ahead and move on to the Juvenile Post-Adjudication Drug Court. That's also another court I'm unfamiliar with. As I said, it's an excellent day. I'm learning a lot today. And so I'll turn it over to Judge Valdez. We heard from her a little bit earlier. It's good to see you, Jackie.
It's good to see you too. Thank you so much for having me this morning. My name is Jacqueline Valdez. I'm the judge of the 386 Juvenile District Court. And so I was just sworn in January, but I was a prosecutor for about 10 years before I was elected judge of the 386. So I had an opportunity to participate in the post-adjudication and pre-adjudication drug court during my time as a prosecutor, as a team member on the court. And so now my role has changed, but I still really enjoy it and enjoy engaging on a different level, because now I really get to interact with the team more, as well as with the children that are in the court. And so we have several different sort of specialty dockets, but today we're focusing on the post-adjudication drug court. So the post-adjudication drug court is our specialty court. We meet twice a month. We have a target population of juveniles referred to the probation department for nonviolent.
I don't see. Okay.
Look, could you mute that?
There we go.
Thank you.
So juveniles that get referred to court for nonviolent misdemeanor and felony offenses that have a significant substance use disorder are eligible to participate in our post-adjudication drug court. And so we get referrals mostly from the probation officers, because one thing that I'm not sure if everybody knows is, but if you pick up a juvenile case, it's different than an adult court, because the juvenile is assigned a probation officer from the very first day that they get referred to the department. And so that gives that probation officer an opportunity to really look into the child, the family situation, school situation, mental health issues, substance abuse issues. And so by the time we come to court on a case, we have a good picture of what's going on and what that particular child's needs are. And so if they kind of fit these guidelines of having a nonviolent offense, but a significant substance use, then the probation officer refers that youth to the court. And then we have at a staffing, we all sit down and discuss whether we think that that child would be appropriate for our post-adjudication drug court. I say we target 14 to 16-year-olds. We do sometimes take 17-year-olds also. And I like what Jacqueline Aguirre said, because we need to remember that these 17-year-olds that we can still provide services to, even though they're considered adults, with respect to if they were to pick up a new offense, there's oftentimes that the adult services really can't provide that support and supervision they need. So we do sometimes accept youth into the program, even though they're older and we won't have quite as much time to work with them. Like most of the other courts, we have a prosecutor that is assigned to our specialty court. We also have a defense attorney that is assigned to our specialty court. And then we have several of the juvenile probation officers that are on our team. We have several different counselors. Each of the children is assigned to a particular counselor, and they work really closely with that counselor, who then comes to the team meeting. The family plays a huge part in our specialty court as far as helping the parents as well, and giving them that support that they need to try to help their child succeed while they're in the court. We have several other services that we offer. So we will help them with their schooling situation. We have some of the kids are in traditional school. Some of them are working on their GED, but we have a Communities in Schools works with us. So if there is a child that's in traditional school, and Communities in Schools may have somebody assigned to that particular school, so they'll help to make sure that things are going okay there. We have different enrichment activities that we help the children participate in. Basically just really trying to keep them busy and accountable. We really have had an opportunity to talk to a lot of the kids, and one of their main requests is that when they come to court, that everybody on the team, including the judge, sees them as the person that they are, and not just kind of why they're in court or what they're going through. And they really enjoy building that rapport with all of the team members and feeling like we all come in and we all have an understanding that we're looking out for everybody's best interest and just trying to help them be successful in the court. And so obviously we start off more intense with an earlier curfew, more contact throughout the week. And then as they work through the phases of the court up until the time they graduate, their curfew gets extended. They don't have as many contacts, and we just try to, sort of ease them away from the constant contact that we have with them. But it's been really successful. The kids with Zoom, we were talking earlier about how Zoom has really helped, and the kids still have been reporting by Zoom with the parents. We're going to start transitioning back to bringing them to court in September, but they've really enjoyed being able to log in by Zoom, and then they also report in person to probation, and then probation goes out to their house. And let me see if there's anything else I wanted to share. Oh, we work, I'm sure like all the courts work using incentives and sanctions if things aren't going well. So with respect to juvenile detention, if we need to, we will detain them at the detention center, where they'll continue with their counseling and schooling while they're in the detention center. And then we'll have, we have detention hearings every 10 days. So basically we can use that as a temporary sanction if we need to get the child's attention, and then release them back home and figure out kind of where the disconnect is and what we need to do to help. And then obviously we'll give them various incentives if things are going well. The parents typically participate in a parent project program, which is a 6-week program on Tuesdays, where they go in and the child comes to, and the child participates in their counseling, and then the parents get counseling as well. So that really has been beneficial, because then the parents realize that they're not alone in their struggle, and they're meeting other parents that are, giving support. So basically it's just helping the kids and getting them the support and the supervision and the treatment they need to help with their substance use, and kind of set them off on the right path so they don't get in trouble when they get older. And I think I'm giving you some time back, Judge Gonzalez, because even though we do have a large team of individuals that meet, I am the lone individual present today, but
Okay.
thank you so
Let's
much.
see. All right. Let's see here. So Judge Ron Hill had to leave. He had another event to attend to. So thank you, Jackie. Did you want to at least say the main, because a lot of people, I see some people are having questions in the chats about contact information, like your court manager, like maybe a contact
So
person.
it's not Suzanne Hainlin, which I can put her information in the chat. She's kind of the court manager. She works for juvenile probation, but she's kind of the go-to person. So I'll put her information in there.
Okay.
Let me just do that. Obviously, if attorneys responded, the child's attorney or the prosecutor think that would be a good fit for the child to participate in the program, they can also either contact Suzanne and see about their child getting staffed, or approach the court during the hearing. And everybody's open to any suggestions that may be helpful. But I will put Suzanne Hainlin's information in the chat in case anybody wants to reach out to her.
Okay, and just so everyone knows that the coalition, the Bexar County Special Courts Coalition, we have been publishing a resource booklet. I'm going to ask Michelle to list the PDF link in the chat, but we do have hard copies. I pass them out to all out of my court, and the behavior department has copies. So we just updated the book, and Judge Valdez is in the new book. We also have a lot of the good programs that are from the court, like Pearls and the Eagles program in the book. So those books are the first batch has just been printed. And so we'll have those ready to go by next week. And we'll be distributing them to all the specialty court judges. So people that swing by the different specialty court judges courts will be able to pick up a hard copy of those books. But also, like I said, Michelle will put a PDF link to that book in the chat, okay? And I've just gotten so much good feedback from the community about those resource books. The first edition, I think we must have printed well over 3,000, and I only have a small number left. But for COVID, we probably would have gotten rid of, passed all of them out to the community. But I'm sure you guys have seen the books around, okay? All right, so we have a few minutes before 10:15 when the testimonials began. So Judge Rosie Gonzalez, you want to give your team the ones that didn't get a chance to speak? We have about 14 minutes, okay?
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to have Mr. Mendez go first and talk about his work as a mental health treatment provider on our team. And then we'll round it out briefly with Deputy Rogers to let y'all know what he does on the team. Mr. Mendez?
Yes, good morning. Thank you for allowing me to be in your team. First of all, thank you all for inviting me to this session. A lot of y'all answered a lot of the things that I do, and I think John, it was mostly the one that's probably been reading my notes. But I really like everything that everyone has said is very much in line with what I do as a counselor. Though there's a certain things that in a clinical area that we do, but basically we start off with what I've heard already, with the holistic approach. For the last 7 years or so, I've been doing the same thing with adult drug court and DWI court, and that is that clients that are referred to lifetime recovery. I serve as the counselor for the clients that are participating in those courts, and now I'm doing the same thing with Reflejo. I'm probably the new kid on the block with this team. So I'm learning a lot from the other team members, and as well as some of the participants that they share certain things with me about MP360, for instance, and their interaction with their probation officers, and they have nothing but great things to say about the court as a whole. Of course, being that they are on this side of the law, some of them are not too happy, some of them are a little resistant, but I try to do the approach, the approach of what is it that I'm treating, what is it that I'm dealing with, right? And I'm dealing with a human being, first of all, right? Set aside everything else. So I try to develop a working relationship with them, the first thing I do, right? And to try to explore any relationship conflicts that they may have, problems with communication, problem-solving difficulties, and so forth, right? And then I go to identify relationship strengths also. We also take the approach, or at least I take the approach of finding the strength that the client comes in with. We have a little short acronym that spells SNAP, and that stands for strengths, needs, abilities, and preferences. When the client comes in, we identify the strengths, and when they first start with me, as I'm building that therapeutic relationship with them, I try to find the strengths that they come in with and work on those to develop more and more and more of those strengths as they come along, because there's definitely something that they need also, which is the next letter of SNAP, the needs that they need. What is it that they need, right? Because they do have the resources, they do have the personal abilities, the natural instincts that they were born with, and I try to help them to develop those, to look for those, explore those. Don't be afraid, as I've heard already. Don't be afraid of fear itself. Don't be afraid of failure or success, right? Don't be afraid of those things. Just confront them, face them and move on. As they say, no pain, no gain, right? So they got to feel that. And I help them to see that something that I've heard already is about the behavior, right? What leads to the behavior? Well, if I take it backwards from the behavior that produces a negative consequence, I use cognitive behavioral therapy quite a bit, which helps with identifying where the behavior came from, right? And the behavior mostly comes from a belief system that the client has that started with either early indoctrination in their lives when they were children, some beliefs that they grew up with, and then they follow that with in adult life, So I try to help them in the current situation that they're in. What is your thoughts about that? And what is it that you're believing about that? Because it follows the behavior. The behavior follows after that, and then the outcome, right? So basically what I do is on Tuesdays, I have a group that is more of the educational, that I give them all this information about what I'm talking about. And then on Wednesday, it's a process group, which they are allowed to share any thoughts, any feelings, any barriers to their participation in treatment, anything that they might have, but also try to help them to see that there is the pros and cons about everything, right? There's some benefits to feeling that pressure, that stress, that even anger, right? And that is to bring out those strengths that I already touched on, right? That I talked about. So basically the approach is to help them to reinvent themselves, to become a better version of themselves. And just like I said before, and I think someone touched on it already, I think it was John, that's why I was saying that he borrowed my notes or something. But is that there's no labels, no alcoholic, no drug addict, none of that. I'm treating the person as a whole and try to help the individual find the strengths that they have in them and validate whatever it is that they're going through and help them through that, and what helps a lot is that and I'm not shy of, I don't keep it a secret or anything like that. If it helps in the therapeutic relationship with clients, I have 26 years of recovery myself. I've been in the recovery since March 22nd, 1995. And I'm pretty well aware of the 12-step groups and sponsorship and all that. So whenever anybody has any questions about that, I've been around in that area, so I know about that, and I know a lot from personal experience about what it is to feel insignificant, and a lot of these clients come in feeling that way, right? That's why they some of them went to the drugs and alcohol and all that to feel, to feel different, right? And to feel better temporarily, and then, it became a problem. So I really like everything that everyone said. It very familiar with all the things that just about everyone has shared already, because that's a lot of what I do. So thank you
so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Mendez. And Judge Huff, if Deputy Rogers can have just 2 minutes to talk to y'all. He's our newest team member. He is the law enforcement entity. And we know that as a coalition, we've been trying to get every court to have a deputy on the team. So Deputy Rogers, you want to tell the team your role in about 2 minutes about what you do on the team?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning to everybody. Deputy Rogers, got 17 years with the Sheriff's Office, 8 years at the jail, a little bit more than 6 years on the streets, and a couple of years here at the courthouse. I give a little bit of insight as far as what I've experienced out on the streets, and when I put my experience to what's going on in County Court 13, my experience has taught me that 100% of the family violence issues, there is some kind of substance abuse problem there. I've never been to a family violence situation where drugs and or alcohol was not at play. So County Court 13 addresses that. Reflector Court addresses that. It gives everybody who comes into this program a second opportunity at life. It's a good program, awesome staff, and thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Rogers. Yolanda, that's how the Federal Court team has for you this morning.
Okay, all right. Thank you guys so much. Some awesome presentations. I learned some things because we're in a different building from Juvenile, so it's good to get to hear some information from Judge Valdez. She had to leave early. She had a family matter to take up. So, but it's just some good information that even me as chair of the Bexar County Coalition learning new things this morning. So now in this portion of the seminar, we're going to move on to the testimonials. I think the first that we have, let me see, it's going to be. And that's going to be from the family drug court. So Megan C., I'll let Macy, do you want to introduce, your participant? Do you want to introduce each participant before they give yourself a few words and let them come on and talk for, I said we have about from 9:15 to 10:15 to 10:40. So I guess each participant has about like 3 to 5 minutes to give, just how these programs have helped them. Go ahead, Macy.
Yeah, so I believe Megan is with the Family Drug Court, or not, I believe she is with Family Drug Court.
Yes,
it seems like she is a recent graduate. Is that correct, Tomas and Vanessa?
Correct. She just graduated this past month.
Perfect. So Megan, would you like to say a few words about your experience with Family Drug Court?
Yes. Hi, my name is Megan, and I am a graduate in Family Drug Court. I was asked to speak today, so I feel like truly honored to come on here and talk about my experience in Family Drug Court. First off, I just want to thank everyone that played a role in my new life. My court monitor, Basil, was truly amazing and was always there for me. My counselors at Elite helped me in so many ways, finding my triggers, and helping me realize my addiction started before my drug use. My iParent counselor, Maria, helped me mature into a better mother for my children. My individual counselor, Michelle, for helping me on a more personal level. My caseworker, DJ Knight, for helping me every step of the way. My counselors at Celebrating Families for helping me have a closer bond with my babies. And last but not least, Judge Sakai for giving good advice and helping me reunite with my kids as soon as possible. When I first came into this program, I didn't know what to expect. I knew I wanted a better life. I knew I wanted to get clean, but I had no idea where to start. Everybody here was so understanding and wanted to help any way they could. They did ask a lot from me, and sometimes it could feel overwhelming. But I came to realize that everything you do here is 100% necessary. It's going to build you up and build up your toolbox for a successful recovery. This program really changed my life for the better. And I am the mother I've always wanted to be. I'm really the best version of myself today. It took a lot of hard work and dedication, time and effort, but the end result is priceless. I couldn't have done it by myself, and I am forever grateful for Family Drug Court. I celebrate 11 months clean, and I'm the happiest I've ever been. Family Drug Court was a blessing in my life. Thank you.
Oh, that's awesome. Awesome. So you can continue, Macy, with the next testimonial. That was awesome, Megan.
Yes, thank you, Megan. The next client's going to be Velene. Velene, I believe, is a current client of Family Drug Court. So she is currently engaging in services with the court. So Velene, would you like to talk about your experiences?
Yes, hi, I'm Valene. I want to say thank you to my team as well. They've helped me in so many ways that I didn't even know I could be helped. I came out of a domestic violent relationship. I had already moved out and ended up, going back on weekends because of our son, and fell back into the same pattern. Started to feel very little, again. I got into the drug court program because of the last incident that had happened. It's helped me. I mean, Michelle Mullins, my trauma counselor, absolutely just amazing, made me touch points that I didn't even realize were absolutely hindering me and my success. Vanessa Knight for, keeping in touch with me and letting me know what's going on with the courts. Shana McGuire, my CPS caseworker, absolutely amazing. At this point, I've had so many counselors. I'm still currently working with Nikki Spencer, Michelle Mullins, and Caesar from the McCullough Center for family counseling, which have given me points on parenting. Today is actually my reunification date. I get to pick up my son and bring him home today. I'll be 9 months sober on the 31st of this month. And overall, I really, at points, I thought, how am I going to do this? I'm working and I'm having something to do every day of the week. At times it felt very, very overwhelming, but in the end, it was very necessary. And without it, I don't believe I could be the person that I am today. I'm very proud of who I've become. I'm very excited to have my son back home. And I'm just thrilled to be able to use all the tools that I've been taught through my counselors and recovery. It's been a long road, but it's definitely changed my life for the better. And I'm just really excited to show my son, how you can live without alcohol in your life. You can have a party and there doesn't have to be alcohol at it. You can feel good about yourself without it. Today, I'm going to throw him a little party, just a couple of friends. We're going to fill his pool up, sing some karaoke, and it's all going to be sober fun and cook and just celebrate him coming home. And I just have to thank everybody. Again, I didn't know if I was going to make it all the way through just because it was a lot, but it was definitely necessary and has improved my life 100%. And I'm just thrilled, and a shout out to Vanessa Knight and Sam's Ministries. They actually helped me get into my little home out in the country, because I'm not really a city person. My child's not really a city person. It was a place we wouldn't be happy in. And Vanessa Knight and the team really pulled together to help me. And Sam's Ministries helped me with the first couple of months of rent. Things have happened for me that should have never happened. Really, it's truly God. I picked up a second job and a career in the medical field that I thought I would never be able to have again. And it's just been an amazing experience between the tears and the stress and the happiness and the sadness and everything. It truly has been a great success for me. And I recommend it to people for getting their kids back, because I could have gone just CPS and worked their services, but I feel like drug court has actually pulled more out of me and really made me feel, full inside and pulled out the negative things in me to where I could change my behavior and know I am a person, I am a mom. I feel great about myself today, and I'm just extremely proud.
Excellent, Velene. Oh, that was so awesome. That's
why we do the work we do. That's why we do the work we do for results like yours.
Yeah, that is just a wonderful testimony, Velene. Yeah, we can stop right here. That was great.
No. We got one of ours. We got our golden boy coming up.
There you go, Macy. That was awesome, Velene.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm grateful for all of you.
Yes, congratulations to.
Thanks, Velene.
Thank you.
Our next testimonial is going to be from Mybrit. Mybrit graduated the early childhood court earlier this year in February. And she is still very involved with our court and is actually heading up a kind of our mentor program. So we are excited to continue working with her and for her to continue giving back to the community and giving back to our our program. She signed her contract last January, so she worked with us all throughout COVID. So Mybrit, would you like to say a few words about your experiences with early childhood court?
Hi, my name is Mybrit Espinosa. Yes, I would love to share a little bit. So thank you. I just want to say thank you to God today for another day clean. And thank you guys for having me and just giving me a moment to share some of my experience, because that's what it's all about, right? We have to see the evidence. Like, you know, all this work doesn't go, there's definitely the fruits of the labor. So I appreciate you guys letting me share a little bit of my testimony. And I am truly blessed to be able to be a part of this new mentorship program that Early Childhood Court is heading up. Because that's another thing that I've learned through all of this, is that instead of being a menace to society, I'm being a help to society now, having been a successful graduate of this very intense program, like you've heard some people share, super intense. But, you know, I realized that in my active addiction, that's all my life was about, was active addiction. So I had to replace that with this intensive, around the clock recovery and restoration process that Judge Sakai's team offered me. So a little bit about how I got to early childhood court. My son was born addicted. I was one of those tragic cases that could not stop using while pregnant, but you know, learning and being with other people in this program that it's not uncommon, unfortunately, but there is a solution, right? So I had him, and I was referred to, of course, a CPS case was opened, and I was referred to Judge Garcia's court, family drug court. And because of Bergeron, my son, because of his age, I was a prime candidate to be referred to early childhood court with Judge Sakai. And so I did the parents forming parents little class, and then I signed a contract, as Macy told you, in January of 2020. And I just graduated this year. Graduation was in April of this year. And so it took about 14 months to get through this program. My husband is also a recovering addict. We had quite a few bumps in the road, you know, getting him to get equally yoked with me on this journey. Not that any one of us is any worse or less, but we did get through this. He was on a zero tolerance contract with the court. So it is possible for people to recover. And they, in early childhood court, I thank God that they gave him another chance. And we stayed on that path together. The biggest, there were so many, you guys, all the people here that are offering, you know, services, like, wow, there was so many. And I remember sitting, the one thing about, what I have today is this huge safety net of resources that I didn't even know, you know, someone else was sharing, that stuff that's out there that I didn't even know was able to help. The SAM Ministries, you know, the family violence stuff. You know, I took so much from everything, but I know for me, the elite counseling team was the most impactful for me. Their level of accountability and what they require for accountability and brutal honesty, and really, like, you know, not putting up with the, okay, you've been getting away with this BS, you know, but not today. Like, we're going to get honest. We're going to get brutally honest, and we're going to hold you accountable. And, you know, that level and all the counselors there, amazing, like life-changing. And I'm telling you, I have done time in the military. I'm retired. I have been through many rehabs in my life, and you know, for some reason, Elite really got to me. So I appreciate all the people there, and also the Safe Care program, because I'm a new mother at the age of 38. Bergeron is my only child, and so Safe Care really taught me how to be a confident mother. You know, that I don't have to have all the answers, and I have all these resources to help me when I don't know what I'm doing. And just like we all do as mothers and fathers, there's not a book, right? But there's definitely people, the human resources, and all the things that I learned in that program. And I think the why of why this worked for me is, one, God was in all of this. And the level of conviction for me, it was on a very personal level of why this program worked for me, because I wanted it. Even though it was hard, I wanted it. You know, the level of compassion that these people, I've heard a couple of the counselors sharing, you know, that we are human beings, and we come in here broken. We come to these programs, you know, even from, I heard a judge sharing about the children. I mean, these are traumatic people that have experienced trauma from childhood age. And so I love, like, I heard somebody talking about the cycles and the circles. You know, I have my son today, and I'm learning. I'm from his age, how to teach him to live a better life. And that's what this was all about for me. You know, it's about getting me restored into a place where I can move forward, but most importantly for my son, because he's the generation coming up, right? And so I know I've taken up a lot of time, but the whole program really taught me how to apply what I've learned, and just to be open-minded. You know, NA, Narcotics Anonymous, I'm a proud member. I just hit 18 months clean on the 5th of July. And that has been key to my success. So yeah, I'm just truly grateful for everything that I got from this. And I hope to keep giving to the community as long as I can. So thank you very much, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. God bless you.
Wow, that was excellent. You guys are giving me tears over here. Like, this is what my heart, because this is all what we do. This is all what the specialty courses are about.
Yes, ma'am.
Hearing those testimonies that you guys are giving, I mean, that gives us life. That, you know, these programs are intense, no doubt about it. I'm very upfront. You know, I preside over the mental health court, and my team will tell you, I just like to get it out there. This is an intense program, and it is very hard to get through, but it is worth it. It is worth it. That's the bottom line, right? It's worth it. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ms. Espinosa. Okay, Macy, you can go on to the next one because my heart is warm. I'm going to have a full heart today. This is giving me life for the weekend.
Exactly, a good way to start your weekend. Thank you, Mybrit. The last speaker is going to be Valerie Cortez. Valerie also signed her contract with the Early Childhood Court last January, 2020. And she graduated our program in November of 2020. She has 3 beautiful children, and I am looking forward to hearing her kind of give her testimony as well. So Valerie, take it away. You're muted, Valerie, if you want to unmute yourself.
Oh, sorry, guys. Hi, Macy. Hi, Yolanda Huff. So I was brought to ECC court because I think, honestly, repetitive behavior that I didn't know that was continuing in my mind, not just with addiction, but with one of the other deputies mentioned it. Where there's family violence, there's always alcohol or drug use. And mine started at a really young age. I never thought a thing was wrong. You know, father beat my mom, still, you know, drank. And then my life, you know, happened that way to where I was in the system with CPS really young. I was a minor. Peter Sakai was my judge. There was no ECC court, no family court at that time. And I was really young and just like, here, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, and you're going to get your kid back. But like, where was the help? Where was the team? So I got into drugs, and I was in felony drug court with Ernie Glenn. And that's where it started with my recovery and knowing who I was and what I wanted to be. But I didn't know how to be it because being a mom and, you know, still having issues and stuff, I still didn't know how to stop the repetitiveness because I just wanted to be loved. So Macy had a big part in it. The lady that did my intake for ECC court, she had a big part of it. And I had to realize that not did I just come first, but my kids. And until I realized that I could never be the mom I am to this day. Like, nobody comes between me and my kids now. I wish I could help the world. I wish I could help, you know, my father, friends, cousins, people that I see still out there. But I know that by my choices and my boundaries, my limits, that I can be the person that I am today. And with that, you know, I'll always be better for tomorrow. And I know I'm a great example in my kids' eyes. The other day I had a birthday party for my daughter, and I had some family. I didn't expect all who came, but I had people that came, and she just gave me this look in her eyes while she went to go play in the water, and she went, and it just brought tears to myself because I know I did something right. But yeah, this program has really helped me a lot. I recommend it to a lot of people. Unfortunately, we have to get in trouble or something tragic has to happen for us to get this kind of help. Hopefully this kind of help could be offered without getting in trouble. Yeah.
Thank you, Valerie. That was great. Thank you so much. Thank you for the share. And I'm sure you're a great example to your children. In fact, I know you are, and that's what it's all about. Breaking that cycle, right? Making a better life for your children. And Judge Rosie Gonzalez and I did CPS cases for over 20 years. So we know, so when we took the bench, man, these specialty courts, we were zooming in, we were ready. We already knew what we wanted to do. We knew how wonderful these programs are. So you guys giving all these testimonials, man, this is what it's all about. And I truly thank each and every one of you for because the testimonials are completely voluntary, but that's the motivation. That's what the public likes to hear. That me, Judge, blabbing on and on, but when they hear from you guys, the proof is in the pudding. You guys are the one that they really want to hear from, because I can say it, but it's coming straight from your mouth. So again, thank you so much. Thank you guys.
We have one more from the Reflector Court.
Okay, it didn't get put on the agenda. Okay,
Luis.
all right. So yes. The Reflector Court. So who wants to introduce from the Reflector Court?
I know that Jackie Aguirre, our case manager, had a big part in getting him to finally come and speak. He's been a little bit hesitant, but he holds a special place in our program. He was our very first admission.
Okay.
Mr. Luis Chavez, and you say the proof is in the pudding. I'm going to introduce you to this big bowl of pudding right now, and that's Mr. Luis Chavez, and we're very proud of him. And I love his energy, I love his outlook, and I'm excited to hear him tell his story for the first time that I've heard. So, Luis, the floor is now yours.
First of all, I would like to thank you, Judge Rosie Gonzalez, for inviting me here. It had an impact. Listening to all these testimonials from all these participants, I'm looking forward to graduating. Starting out in this program was very difficult for me. Trying to understand where I was heading to was difficult for me, because all I knew was addiction. All I knew was misbehaving. All I knew was, just acting a fool. Now, when I first ended up in jail, this old school guy told me, you know what? He told me in Spanish, you know what? No te arrestaron, nos rescataron. And translating means they didn't arrest you, they rescued you. So that sunk in so deep that made me think, made me make a complete 360 on my life. After I started working with the Reflejo team, it was something that I actually needed. I really needed that tough love. I really needed some guidance. And that's exactly what the Reflejo program gave me. I've been sober for 1 year and 3 months. I've been living the best days of my life, I'm working and trying to help others. I have recently, my sponsor recently asked me to try to sponsor somebody. I've been putting my information out there. And pretty soon I know God's going to give me a sponsee. That way I can share what was given to me. I can share my experience with others. I can help others. I think this is what it's all about. But, it's been a blessing, even though it's tough at first. My main goal is trying to graduate and keep using these tools, because I'm not going to be on probation forever. I'm not going to be on, surrounded by this great team that I have surrounding me. And they have given me these tools to live my life the best way possible. And I'm looking forward to graduating pretty soon. I would like to thank Judge Rosie for this opportunity, and congratulate all the graduates that spoke before me. And thank you very much. My name is Luis Chavez.
Thank you, Luis.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Luis.
Thank you very much. And congratulations for getting as far as you've gotten to this day. And we're gonna see you all the way to the finish line, Luis. We are.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Okay. So at this time, we're gonna see if we can we're gonna tip the videos. We have two from Commissioner Tommy Calvert and Councilwoman Diagon, and see if we can get those, and then we'll get into lastly question and answers from the teams. Okay, so can you attempt it again, Booker?
Hello, I'm Bear County Commissioner Tommy Calvert, and as chair of the Reentry Council, it's my honor to welcome you to the specialty courts and thank people like Judge Yolanda Huff and, of course, Judge Rosie Gonzalez and all of those judges who serve in our specialty courts for changing the chapter of Texas justice from the days of lock 'em up and throw away the key to days of getting smart on crime and helping people with therapeutic justice. You know, there are many things that sometimes happen to us in our childhood, traumas that cause us to have triggers to make mistakes. Or in some cases, it was just a bad day and bad news that caused something to happen in your life. But because of the therapeutic justice that's being offered in Bexar County, we can turn the page. It takes a lot of cognitive therapy, a lot of behavioral therapy to change old habits and start anew. And that's the journey you're on. You know, we really are wishing you very well. We want to see your success because your success is the community's success. It's your family's success. It's your country's success. We have 678,000 people who have been through the criminal justice system. And there are a number of programs and partners like our specialty courts that are looking to connect you to the therapies and the programs that can help you stay on the right track and keep you moving in the right direction for a lifetime. You know, I know a lot of folks may have been let down by the education system. We see a school to prison pipeline that's very, very dangerous. But today, you can be given new hope and new groups like Freed Texas, which is fighting recidivism. That is when you recommit a crime through education and divinity. There are a number of great programs that can do things like help you learn to read better, get into job training for jobs that are in demand in healthcare, in IT, in business, in construction, and a variety of trades. So we are praying for you. We're wishing you the best. And just know that a lot of people are rooting that you are going to come out as a new star. So congratulations. And we look forward to seeing the positive results of these specialty courts. Hello, I'm Bexar County Commissioner Tommy Calvert.
Booker, could we get the other one to play? The first one from Councilwoman Diagon.
Yes, sir. So let me get that one for you.
Okay.
Good morning. My name is Felicity Agran, City Councilwoman for District 3. Welcome to the 2021 Specialty Courts Coalition Educational Seminar Series. The mission of the Bexar County Specialty Court Coalition is to build a collaboration among specialty courts to identify gaps, advocate for resources, and provide training. Today, you will be joining the specialty court judges to gain insight on the program overview and eligibility benefits. Family Drug Court, Reflector Court, and Juvenile Post-Adjudication Drug Court will be presented today. This is important and essential to promote rehabilitation and decrease recidivism. It also provides a full picture view. So take the opportunity to gain insight because judges and court staff will be available for a Q&A session. Thank you again, and remember, these seminars are free for everyone to attend. I'd like to thank Judge Yolanda Huff for inviting me to speak to you today. Have a great session.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you to each Commissioner Calvert and Councilwoman Diagon. We really thank them for that. At this time, we're going to move on to the question and answer session. And I don't know, Michelle, that you see any questions in the chat, or does anyone have any questions that they wanted to present to any of the team members or any of the judges? Okay, so we have about 20 minutes left in our seminar.
I don't see any questions in the chat as of yet.
And I don't think we're gonna get questions, Yolanda, because it wasn't live. It's just being recorded, but I did not see the live prompt.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well, does anyone right now on the screen have any questions about any of the programs or anything that they heard? Eligibility. Let's see. Rosie, I think Rosie, would you mind telling I guess it was the day to day the day to day like in your program what a participant would experience would be expected yes.
So we have a variety. So typically a day to day would start with calling the UA line, right? That's the first thing they got to do. If they're on the UA line, some of them are on patches. Then depending on the day, they may have to go see Mr. Mendez for treatment, or the female entity to that for treatment. Same thing. Mr. Vaca has his programming throughout the week. And then they also have groups throughout the week, and making sure that they're also taking care of their sobriety, working that sober program. And so there's a variety of activities that encompass scheduling. And it's a rigorous program, and I want to give kudos to Lewis, because he has set the bar for someone who was released from the Bexar County Jail, went into an Oxford home, and from the get-go started working on managing his daily schedule to make sure that he would succeed in the program. And he's a great mentor for the gentlemen that are coming behind him, and sometimes even the ladies. And you see him, and he's like, he looks at him and says, "You can do this. I did this." It's a matter of how bad do you want it, and how committed are to your own sobriety and working your own program. Because if you want it that bad, you will do what it takes to make sure that you are in compliance with the program and you are working your sobriety program. So Jackie, did you want to, is she still with us or did she leave?
No, Jackie had to sign off.
Okay, so I mean, these are busy days, but I'm going to go to Lewis. Lewis, what did a typical day in the middle of this program look like, or a typical week? Lewis, can you describe that for the folks?
Yes, Judge. Well, for me, it starts out with, like you said, calling the UA line. I live in an Oxford house, so they require me to do 5 AA meetings per week. Occasionally, we have a meeting here at the house. I have group with Mr. Mendez every Tuesday at 6. A lot of Zoom meetings. Call the UA line.
You completed your MP 360?
Right? Yes, I've completed.
And on top of that, he's been able to maintain full-time employment, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So, I mean, they're busy days that can be very overwhelming for someone that's not used to being accountable and kind of living their day, kind of fly by night, whatever comes up. If I don't feel like doing it, I don't want to do it. This is highly structured, and with the more structure, the more accountability, right? So, I can't say enough good things about Lewis. He's really been our golden boy. He was our first admission, and I'm glad that he was, because he has set the bar for everybody coming behind him.
Oh, that is awesome. I mean, I say that because a lot of people want to know that, when I say that the programs are intensive, I mean they are intensive. What for those that are listening and maybe listening to the recording later, what we mean by that UA call line is that every participant in every specialty court, and by the way, there are 14 specialty courts in Bexar County now. The participants have to call the UA call line, and they have to call that UA call line 365 days. Christmas, Easter, every single day on their birthday. That is the basic. We call it the low-hanging fruit, something that teaches responsibility and accountability. All you have to do is wake up. I think the UA call line opens up at 6 in the morning. It tells you if you have to UA that day. It's a random thing. I think you have till maybe 2 or 3 to get over to the UA center. It's just a random thing, but you have to call that number every single day. And that applies. I know that all of the specialty courts do that for all their participants. And that really does teach accountability. Like Judge Gonzalez said, that, when you're living in this world of addiction, accountability is out the window. And when someone is pulling you in and saying, hey, you're going to have to live your life in this structured accountable way, it takes a while for the participants to kind of start leaning into the program and really understanding what we mean. And I think one of the, it may have been Velene or Ms. Espinosa that talked about the structure of the program is so much. You're not used to the difference between old CPS and the new CPS. Because I did CPS cases that these programs, all the specialty courts, even though this is court, you know, we have to abide and everyone is afforded their constitutional right. The programs are not meant to be adversarial, even though we do have an ADA on our team and we do have a defense attorney on our team. And I do occasionally have to I give incentives and I give sanctions, but everything is geared towards, in a very intense way, getting these participants back on track in life where they belong. Because I like to say in my court, when you are where you should be in life, not only do you benefit, your family benefits and society benefits. Society doesn't benefit if you're on drugs or you're in jail. Society benefits when all the participants are on their path in life where they should be. You know, and so yes, this whole structured, intense way that these specialty courts, that is absolutely done on purpose. It really is. So Macy, would you like to give like maybe a day in the life of one of your participants? Like we talk about how intense these programs are. And I know all the participants know.
Yes. So our clients typically, I guess a better idea would be like what a week would look like for them. So they meet with their court monitor weekly on Zoom. That's about 30 minutes to an hour of their time, I would say, each week. They do drug tests 3 times a week. Our clients drug test at the courthouse. So we utilize the courthouse lab there on the 3rd floor of the children's court. They're also engaging in, like most of our clients will engage in drug treatment at Elite Counseling. So they're attending groups anywhere from 3 times a week to, if they're in aftercare, 1 time a month. And that is probably about, at least I would say, 6 months of their times in our court is engaging in substance abuse treatment. Domestic violence as well. If they're engaged in services for domestic violence, that's a 1 time a week class that they're doing. Same thing with parenting weekly. So all of these services are weekly. There's requirements that they are held to. And then court with Judge Sakai is 1 time a month right now over Zoom, Friday mornings for early childhood court, where they're taking about an hour of their time each month to really talk with judge and also get a report from the providers that they're working with, so that we can make sure that, again, that we're coordinating these services to move towards the goal of getting these children home.
Oh, that is good. Thank you, Macy. Thank you for giving us some information. I think that Judge Grace Uzumba has her hand up. Judge Uzumba, would you like to say a few words? Judge
Yes.
Uzumba? Okay.
I actually had a question for the juvenile courts. What are the most challenging things for the juveniles?
I think Judge Jacqueline Valdez had to leave us, and I don't know, do we have any team members?
No, Judge. We
okay.
don't have anyone else.
I apologize, Judge Zumba. She had to leave early for a family matter.
Doreen Jaramillo just joined the Zoom. She's the family drug court manager.
Oh yeah. Doreen,
good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Would you like to say a few words?
Sure. I think my team has probably covered a portion of the program description, but just to give everybody an idea, the Bexar County Family Drug Court is a very intensive program for the parents, definitely, but it is structured and tailored to fit the services of each participant. So that's pretty big, I guess, in the children court world, because we actually sit down, get them into drug treatment first, because we know that that's the first thing we have to tackle before we start them in any other kind of services. And then we kind of go from there, adding 1 service at a time, just to kind of monitor to make sure that we're not putting too much on them. So once we get through that portion of the program, we are monitoring to see how fast we can get these children back to them, because that is our goal, rapid reunification. So at this point, when I've run numbers, we're probably at about a 5.5-month reunification rate within the last 2 years. which
That's
is
awesome.
superb. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's
Because
awesome.
I mean, children's court is 12 to 18 months, you know, and so we are really pushing to stay at that reunification rate. No longer than 6 months is our goal to get children back to the parents. Excuse me. In some occasions, we have been able to get them back faster. Sometimes we get, you know, just depending on if they have stable residents, family members that maybe support them at the, you know, a good support system. That's something we're also pushing for in family drug court. We need a good support system structured around these families, because we know that you know, will help them be successful in the long run. So we do a really good wraparound plan. We have a lot of services. We have psychiatric services for them. We have housing services. We have drug treatment. We have domestic violence. I'm sure my team probably went over that earlier. Pretty much, you know, and they're in the program maybe about up to 9 months at the most right now. Some of them do stay longer if they need more intensive treatment and it kind of prolongs, you know, the program for them. But we explain to them, we're here to help. That's what we're here for. And it works well. It's been working well. Even, you know, with COVID and everything, we've seen a really good success rate, a lot of participants. And so we're on track, I think, with everything right now, helping our families.
Oh, thank you, Doreen. Thank you for
Yes,
zooming in.
yes, Judge.
And I really just, so if there are any more questions, or I can give everyone back a few minutes to get back to their day lives, or if anyone had any more questions or statements or just things they want to say, how they approve or how they like the programs, or anything that anyone want to add in.
Yolanda, I think you're doing, Judge Huff, I think you're doing a wonderful job as our coalition chair and our leader in this project, right? It's a project to educate the community about what we're doing with drug courts and specialty courts and all the good that is coming of it. And from my perspective, if we can help one person come back into the community and integrate as a productive person, that is one person more than we would have had without these specialty courts. So, you know, I'm really proud of the work that we're doing, and I'm excited about what's coming in the next year and 2 years, and see where we can, you know, catapult into the next dimension, as they say, right?
That is so true. Now, I know Judge Zumba, you still there? Judge Zumba, did she leave?
She's still
Yes,
there.
I am.
Oh, Judge Zuma has been very involved in the specialty court world, and she's been there. She's been a defense attorney. She actually helped launch the Misdemeanor Veterans Treatment Court. So, Judge Zuma, would you like to say a few words about the specialty courts and this endeavor and program, as Rosie said, that we've been on for these last 2 years?
These specialty courts save lives. They reunite families, and the most important thing about it is that they're allowing the judges to be able to be a part of people's lives, bringing people back to the community to be contributing members of the community, instead of and just restoring their dignity and restoring their lives, and giving a lot of fathers a real happy Father's Day, giving a lot of mothers a real happy Mother's Day and a family day, because their child, their uncle, their brother, their sister has come back to them. And so the heart, the energy, and the care and concern that you judges put into these specialty courts make a difference. You make a difference every single day in every single person's life. And the world-class treatment courts, the treatment providers, the probation officers, the court managers, it is such a team effort. And when the team works together and be able to produce such great results as you all are doing, the world is a better place. At least here in Bexar County is a more wonderful place, because there are 14 courts that are doing this on a daily basis. And we are grateful for all the work that is going on here in Bexar County. Specialty courts.
And Judge Huff, I do want to thank everyone that shared their story today, the three women and Lewis, because you all are an affirmation that we're doing something right. And we don't need to be related to you all, you know, to tell you we're proud of you. And my chest is just overflowing right now with just pride because you are the walking manifestation of what successful specialty courts are. Yeah. And so, you know, don't be shy, don't be humble. You've done the hard work. And you know, I'm going to just, you know, just praise all over this county and all over the state. And I'm in Chicago right now, and I'm going to be talking to some Chicago judges tonight about the work that we're doing here in Bexar County. And I'm just so proud of all of y'all and so happy for you to see you where you are in your lives today.
Judge Velene has a question.
Velene?
I raised my hand, but I just want to say good seeing Judge Ozumba. I haven't seen her since we used to work together at the DWI court with Judge Brown. Congratulations on your new post, Judge. But I just really like what you had to share because when we were working together, she always seemed to find a way of helping clients that I finally started to referring every time that she would help to find a solution for a client. I would start to just finally refer to that as Amazing Grace. Amazing Grace. So good to see you, Judge.
Great to see you. And you know, you are the world-class treatment provider I was referring to.
Oh my goodness. Thank you.
Okay. All right, you guys. Before we got, I think Velene had one question, right, Velene?
Yes, ma'am. So these specialty courts are absolutely amazing. And I just had the question, I know sometimes it's few and far in between, but say a mother or a father, you know, decides they want to put themselves into a 30-day, you know, rehab for alcohol or drugs. They don't have a CPS case or anything like that, but realize that they need more help. Could this at one point somewhere later down the line be something that could be offered to people seeking it out, seeking the help to get better? Because I think it would be an amazing thing to be able to help the ones even that, you know, want to help that haven't actually gotten in trouble with CPS or the law, that just want to actually change their lives.
I think people like my spouse who's sober 17 years, and I hear her talk about, she is available. She doesn't look at your name, at your gender, what you do, where you are in your life. If you reach out and say, I'm ready, I need help, she will do everything in her power to get that help to that person. Could be a complete stranger. I've seen her do it. But those folks that work those programs, like Mr. Mendez and my wife and Lewis, because I've heard Lewis say it, here's my number, call me, I will help you. So I think it's just a matter of making sure you take numbers from us today or get them from your drug court people, of the folks that are working programs and that are open to helping anyone who's ready to accept the help and is ready to work a program for themselves, regardless of their status in the criminal justice system.
Yeah, because I know I get that question a lot, that, you know, everywhere I go, people say, well, I need help, or someone in my family needs help, and they're not in the judicial system. And there are, believe me, lots and lots of people in the community, lots and lots of programs and resources in their community. Like, for example, Center for Healthcare Services does a lot of our case management and where we send people for, you know, diagnosis and medication. But they also have a part in Center for Healthcare Services that serves people that are not in the judicial system. This is just the judiciary. How do we, as judges in the judiciary, handle people that enter into the justice system that have these unique issues of drug, alcohol, mental health, prostitution, veterans? How do we as a judiciary handle these problems? Okay, and this is what the judiciary does. But believe me, Bailey, there are many, many programs, far more than what we do in the community at large, that do the same thing. They're just not in the judiciary. Okay.
How do people get plugged into those programs? Can they stop by the court, your courts, and be able to get those resources? Or do they look online to be able to find those resources?
Because I know for a fact that Judge Rosie Gonzalez lists on her website a whole list of resources in the community. Like, you know, the Center for Healthcare Services is huge, you know, that they provide so many different services for adults and children. And it just, you know, it's not a part of the judiciary. They just provide resources for people in the community. And you can find that online. Sometimes I probably have it on my website, just different resource links from the community. Okay.
I wanted to also offer some information. Lifetime Recovery has an excellent recovery coach program. They have a support group called Recovery Links that anyone is welcome. Sometimes even people that are out and about, you know, homeless, you know, sometimes show up, and I've seen them come in and you know, and they help them to link to resources in the community. Recovery Links is basically composed of alumni, people that have gone through Lifetime Recovery Program, have completed successfully, and now they're helping. They have created their own group. That's why they call it Recovery Links. It's not an AA group, an NA group. Anyone is welcome that is seeking recovery and assistance with a support group. So Recovery Links and Lifetime Recovery is available through the Recovery Coaches program. They are the facilitators. Basically, they look, the clients themselves run Recovery Links support group, but the recovery coaches are there to assist, you know, to redirect them and things like that. You know, they facilitate that. They're there. So they're not completely by themselves. There's always someone like a recovery coach that is,
yes,
you know, has a certification with the state of Texas.
Okay.
Judge, I think
Right.
we have another hand up.
ADA
Mozzie.
Yeah, ADA Duramy. Am I pronouncing it correctly?
No, it's Darima, but I
Okay.
just want to say, first of all, I'm one of the newer members. So thank y'all for having me. This group so far has shown me a lot of like amazing collaboration and resources. And I apologize for the music in the background. My daughter's watching TV. But I've also come to realize, kind of like what we were saying about resources and whatnot. That's her speaking. That I'm coming from the assistant city attorney side, and there's a lot of resources that the city of San Antonio offers in terms of like daycare, childcare, housing, and whatnot. And I had the opportunity, I guess, to share that with at one of the staffing meetings. And so I agree with you. It's about networking and a cohesive effort with like different parties coming together saying, hey, I know about this and that. And again, I'm really grateful to be a part of this. And I thank y'all. And I thank everyone that's been able to work with me and be patient with me while I'm learning the ropes. And I look forward to being an asset to this group.
Welcome to our village. Because it takes a village, right? It takes all of
Which
us.
court are you placed in?
ECC as well as the drug court.
All right, awesome, very
So
good. Okay,
I
thank you.
I'm filling in for Judge Burley, and those are shoes that are ginormous, and I hope I can do her justice at some point.
No, thank you. You're gonna do fine. You're gonna do fine. All right. Well, you guys, it is 11:03. So I don't want to hold time. Rosie, did you want to say one more thing?
No, I just peace out.
Okay, peace out. All right. So everyone, thank you so much for attending. Our next seminar will be on August 7th. That will be the fourth series, the fourth seminar in this 5-seminar series. Okay, the last one is September. So I'll be posting about the 3 judges that will be presenting in August. So again, thank everyone for coming. Thank you for, as Rosie said, our village. Bye-bye. Until next time. Thanks, everyone.